Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This week I wanted to give you an incomplete list of some of my favorite pirate themed books because I thought that would be fun. I have a little bit of a stack here to get through, and then I have some that I don't physically own copies of. I'll try to insert their covers somewhere in the screen so that you can see what they look like. I have my laptop right there that I wrote little summaries of everything on, so I'm sorry if I look down, but I can't remember everything. I don't have any way to put my phone here this week to use it as a prompter, so we're doing it old school. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my fan. It's right there because it's like 90 degrees in here. So anyway, all that said, let's get started, shall we? Number one on my list is the classic, the blueprint for basically every other pirate story, including Pirates of the Caribbean a little bit, and that is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. It is like the original pirate story. It is one of the boys' tales. It originally was written in periodicals and then was put together in a finished book eventually. I can't tell you when because I don't remember. But it follows Jim Hawkins. It starts in his tavern where he lives with his mom, and then they are visited by this old pirate, Billy Bones, who has a trunk and a map to Treasure Island. And they are then basically attacked by Captain Flint's crew, who are trying to get Billy Bones and his treasure chest with the map so that they can go to Treasure Island. And Jim is sent on a seafaring adventure filled with swashbuckling, mutiny, and unlikely friends, and I love it. I love it so much. I've read it 4 or 5 times. It's my favorite book. I highly recommend it if you want to start reading pirate-based stories. This is the one to start with because it is the original, basically. Highly recommend it. Love it. The next book on my list is part of a duology. It is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. It follows Alosa, who is part human, part siren. She is the captain of her own ship that is crewed mostly by women. There's a couple men, but it's mostly women. She allows herself to be caught by a competing ship because she wants to search it to find this missing piece to a map that will lead to the biggest treasure ever seen, basically. Along the way, she meets someone and there's a little bit of steamy romance, nothing explicit. It's just, there is some steamy romance. There is also magic and swashbuckling adventure, and I just really enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure that the author, Tricia Levenseller, just because the story starts with a quote from Captain Jack Sparrow, I think that means that she is also a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, so I felt that was a good sign going into the book, and then it was a really fun book, so highly recommend. I also highly recommend listening to the audiobook because that's how I read it. I listened to it on Libby, I think, and it was highly recommend. It was fun. It was a fun to listen to. The next book on my list is the other half of that duology. It is The Daughter of the Siren Queen, which is a continuation of Alosa's adventures, but in this one it digs a little deeper into the truth of who she is, who her father is, who her mother is, all the lies and stuff, and it also dives deeper into that steamy romance, but again, nothing really happens. It's just, it's not explicit, but it's there. And it also continues with the adventure and the swashbuckling, and it's just fun. And like the first one, it also starts with a quote from Pirates of the Caribbean, so I knew it was going to be good going into it. I highly recommend it. It was fun. The next book on my list of pirate-themed books that I enjoyed was The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea by Maggie Tokuda Hall. It's a little different than the others because it has more LGBTQ themes with non-binary characters, and it was also a lot of fun. It follows Flora, aka Florian, and Evelyn aboard the pirate ship the Dove as they work together to rescue a mermaid, and then there's also a witch. There's also a pirate supreme who's in charge of everything and wants to protect the oceans from awful pirates, and it's just really fun, and I enjoyed it, and it's not something I would normally read, but it was really good, and I enjoy it, and I recommend it. The next book on my list of recommendations is actually a full series of books. There's 12 of them in total. They are the Pirates of the Caribbean Jack Sparrow series by Rob Kidd, which I believe is a pen name for like 3 or 4 different writers who all worked on this series. And it is so fun because it talks about Captain Jack Sparrow before he was a pirate, and it follows him and his friends Arabella Smith and this boy Fitzwilliam P. Dalton III and their adventures around the Caribbean. And they encounter things like witches and mermaids and dinosaurs. And there's also characters from the film series like Tia Dalma and Davy Jones and Captain Teague. Like, they're all in these books and they're so fun. They are written for little kids, so it's like really simple writing and stuff, but it's a lot of fun and I recommend it if you can find them. This was a while that it took a while to find these. They're very quick reads because they're for little kids, but like they're a lot of fun and I highly recommend them. The last of the fiction books of my pirate-based recommendations is Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton. It was published after he died. This is probably the most adult book on the list of recommendations. It is probably the darkest book of my recommendations, but it does have the swashbuckling and the adventure. It's just much darker, and you might want to like research it a little bit before you read it because it does have the darker themes and all that, but it is about pirates and it has the sword fights and it has a kraken in it and it has like battles in the ocean. It's a very piratey book and it's fun, but again, you might want to do a little research into it to make sure it's not like a trigger for you before you read that one. But it is fun. I did enjoy it. Hi friends. Sorry. I was filming on my regular camera and both of my batteries are dead now, so I figured I would try this. Also, my other camera is also dead because I have poor planning skills. So we're gonna try to continue this video on my laptop and holding this. I'm sorry. I am trying to keep a promise to myself. Whether you enjoy this or not, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I post something because if I don't, I won't be keeping my promise to myself. Okay, I am going to give you a warning for this next section. This is the non-fiction section. So the warning is, real actual pirates were not all rum and singing. There was real torture and rape and gore and general not nice stuff. So this is your warning. If you're not able to sit with any of that kind of information, I do not recommend you digging deeper into pirates and learning about piracy because it gets very dark very fast. And if you don't like that kind of stuff, well, I don't like that kind of stuff, but like I'm able to handle reading about it. If you are not able to handle reading about it, I would not recommend digging deeper into pirate lore because it is not a pretty place. That's your warning, your trigger warning. My first recommendation for books about pirates and seafaring stuff is perhaps my favorite book that I've ever bought on this subject. It is Seafaring Lore and Legend by Peter D. Jeans. It is so good. It covers everything from biblical floods to Atlantis to why you shouldn't whistle on a ship. And it gives a background on piracy and sailing life. And it's basically like the best place to start if you want to start learning about pirates and like sailors and everything that goes along with it, because it gives you so much information. It also explains different kinds of ships and what exactly nautical miles are, and it gives real accounts of things that happened aboard ships, and it has pirate ships, whaling ships, the ships of the fleet. Like it just has a lot of background information, and it's a really good place to start if you want to get into learning about pirates and sailing and stuff. Highly recommend it. It's my favorite. I've read it at least twice. I just reference it a lot because it's good. It's good. The next book on my list is The Republic of Pirates by Colin Woodard. It is also very informative, but it also has, as I said before, a lot of the darker themes of piracy. This book gives a lot of overview of what it was like in the Caribbean when all the pirates were active, as well as information about individual pirate captains like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, Stede Bonnet, like all of those guys and like their flying gang. and the havoc that they wrought all along the Atlantic coast of the US and the Caribbean. Like, it gives a lot of information. It also gets into the nitty-gritty of life on ships and how they were all eventually ended. how piracy was ended in the Americas and the Caribbean, basically. It is very informative, and I enjoyed it a lot. I recommend it, but again, it is rather dark, so be warned. And the last book of my nonfiction recommendations for today is Pirate Women by Laura Sooke Duncombe. I hope I said her name right. This book is, as it suggests, about women pirates, pirate women. It covers everything from like Greeks and Vikings to Anne Bonny and Mary Read, and to the most successful pirate of all time, Chang Yi-sao. She was a big deal. She had, like, I want to say, I may be lowballing it or highballing it. I want to say she had like 800 ships at one point. She is the most successful pirate ever. And yeah, this book, it's incredibly informative, and I really enjoyed learning about more pirates than just Anne Bonny and Mary Read, because they are typically the only women you hear about when you start learning about piracy, beyond Queen Elizabeth I, because she was the pirate queen. She made deals with pirates. So like, whenever you start learning about piracy, the three women that you always learn about are Queen Elizabeth I, Mary Read, and Anne Bonny, and this gives you so many more. There are so many women pirates in history, and this book is very informative, and I enjoyed it. But again, I would warn, some things are dark because it's about pirates. So just so you know, I highly recommend this one. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Pirate women are the rulers of the world. Okay, so the last two books that I have for you are mostly just for fun. I mean, I guess you could call them nonfiction, but really I just bought them for fun because they seemed like they would make me happy, and I was correct. They made me happy. Number one is The Pirate Primer by George Chundas. I don't know how to say that. But this one is basically an encyclopedia of like how to talk like a pirate. Like, that's basically what it is. It tells you how to like do greetings and insults and oaths and so many things. It's just, if you want to learn how to talk like a pirate, this is the book for you. It also tells you if something is like something that may have actually been said by real pirates, or if it was something purely of like film and TV. So it'll tell you like Captain Jack Sparrow in this movie, or this pirate from this TV show, or this pirate from this other really old pirate movie. Like, it tells you where it was from, if it would have actually been said by pirates, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really fun thing just to flip through. I look at it every now and then just because it's so fun. And the last one on my list of pirate books that I'm giving you today is this one. I'm gonna read you the entire title. Disney Pirates, The Definitive Collector's Anthology, 90 Years of Pirates in Disney Feature Films, Television Shows, and Parks by Michael Singer. It has so many things in here, plus a photo gallery from Pirates of the Caribbean, the movies. It came out the same year as Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tell No Tales, as, like, I believe it was part of the celebration of 50 years of the attraction in Disneyland, which was in 2017. It has a foreword written by Johnny Depp, and it's just a lot of fun. It's got, like, background for all the pirate things, like the Disney Treasure Island movie, and the Peter Pan ride, because that has Captain Hook and his pirates, and just Pirates of the Caribbean. I enjoyed this book because Pirates of the Caribbean, Disney pirates, they're my favorite things in the world. Highly recommend. I'll probably make another one of these videos in the future, but these were just the books that I know that I have read, because I have a whole stack of pirate-themed books over on my bookshelf, and I've only read a handful of them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry for the camera switch, but I had poor planning, and I just wanted to finish this video because I have been struggling today. Yeah, okay, see you later, alligator. Number one on my book recommendations is the classic, the blueprint for all other pirate stories, basically, and that is